doing masters in pharmaceutical, and on the other side you are very passionate about entrepreneurship.
A perfect work-life balance. Work is the studies, life is about what you're passionate about, and that is why I've joined this student association.
You are also a student. You may have seen your juniors, they have a lot of ideas in their mind, but they don't have platforms.
We've seen that during the lessons that more than half of the failed startups actually don't answer a problem. The idea was great, but nobody needs it if there's no action.
This question often asked to the teachers or professors, that as a student, can we start our entrepreneurial journey? We have an example of Mark Zuckerberg, who co-founded Facebook while at Harvard. His entrepreneurial journey started when he was a student. Mostly students, they have a lot of ideas. They want to change the world, but they claim that they don't have platforms to showcase their ideas. It is true or not? All these questions will be addressed in today's podcast, because in today's podcast we will be having Vincent Morand. He is a president of University of Geneva Innovation Society. With that, he is working as a leader of entrepreneurship for his juniors. He is MSc pharmaceutical student. With that, he is doing a lot of entrepreneurial activities. So without any further delay, let's dive into the podcast and ask him, this is true or not? Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today. He is a student of pharmaceutical sciences. With that, he is a president of Innovation Time Geneva, and he's studying his pharmaceutical from University of Geneva. He's a student of science. On the other side, he wanted to be an entrepreneur. How all these things are interlinked. We have Vincent Morand. Thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
When I was searching about your profile, as I told in the introduction as well, that you are doing masters in pharmaceutical, and on the other side, you are very passionate about entrepreneurship. These both things are very opposite, business and studies. So how you are managing all these things?
Well, many things. First, I would say organization, but I think you can do study, I think, but be passionate with another topic. And this is actually, I would say, a perfect work-life balance. Work is the studies, life is about what you're passionate about. And that is why I've joined this student association called Innovation Time Geneva, which promotes entrepreneurship and innovation on local basis in Geneva, in the western side of Switzerland. And we do that with articles, event workshops, and even some trainings to allow students to discover the world of entrepreneur. And I think I quite like it since I managed to reach the top of president of this association.
Okay, Vincent. Can you tell me that you are a student as well, you are studying, how much importance in institute plays in the grooming of a student when you are studying from a good institute? There are a lot of people who study from an average institute, but when you are studying from a higher institute, like a good institute, does it give you an opportunities, debating, extracurricular activities, participating in events? So how that is impactful for a student?
Well, of course, if a good institute is a clear way to have more opportunities because more people know these institutions. And you have also I would say the greatest quality of one institution to study at is actually what services it provides, annexes alongside these studies. For instance, in Geneva, we got a lot of small groups supporting different kind of projects. It could be sustainability, could be entrepreneurship, and they organize, I would say, one time per year, a week about their topics. So it's a great opportunity if you fond of this this subject to yeah, to discover, to shine, and I would say to also have the network around it with the different institutions satelliting around it, um, depending on the place where you are. But I do think that even I would say an average institution could do the same. It's might be a little bit harder because you have to do yourself the research. Maybe also a different organization around the university, but not at the university itself. That you might have to work a little bit to find this institution and to get in touch with it.
Getting in touch with the seniors and juniors is the most important thing, and being actively participating in university events that boost your confidence, right? uh, there are a lot of students. You are also a student. You may have seen your juniors, they have a lot of ideas in their mind, but they don't have platforms. I have seen that you have been organizing a lot of entrepreneurial competitions. Can you explain what sort of model you guys are working on, and how much, if like I'm a student and I have an idea, so how I will going to pitch an idea? Do you guys or do your society will going to invest in my idea?
Well, it's of course if you have already an idea, it's a great step. I mean, it means that you discover a problem that might be, I don't know, helpful for the society to be solved, and this is something that you may investigate. But first, before even pitching, you have to make sure that your idea actually solve the problem. We've seen that during the lessons that more than half of the failed startups actually don't answer a problem. They just the idea was great, but nobody needs it if there's no actual problem on it. So maybe you have to kind of think a little bit on it, try to say, okay, who might be my potential customers? Okay, what's the real problem? What's the pains? What's the gains if I solve this problem? Is the problem, I would say, sustainable in the sense of the United Nations objectives, but also if the problem is actually the solution you propose is whereas doable. It might be difficult if you want, I don't know, to cure cancer to say, hey, I will do something and say I will cure the cancer. Well, some big pharma already invested a lot of in it, and unfortunately, we still have this disease ongoing. So you have to do a small map to make it structurized. There are some templates on the internet. There might be some online courses on how to structure that, and then you can do the pitches, because since you know how your objectives, what your solution will do, you will be able to pitch in front of not, I would say, first investors, but to some, I would say, curious person. The second thing is to speak about your project. Maybe, hey, that's my idea is a secret. I don't want to share it because someone will steal it. Nobody gonna steal it because your idea is still, I would say, in an early basis, very early, and we still have a lot of effort to be put on in it. And the thing is, nobody will say, okay, I will take your idea, I will put all my heart and soul in it, and maybe it will work. That's only you that you know the cost and also the gains of your solutions. So actually, we have to speak around to network, actually, to speak a lot of, I would say, firstly, in a formal manner, because it will be easier to speak, I would say, around a coffee with someone than in front of 10 people, 20, and even hundreds. So first, speak about it with your family, your friends, and maybe if you're in associations, in entrepreneurship, that might be a very good idea because you can have some insights of your idea. And once I would say you got to this strong uh, group of fans, I would say, then you can go a step further and maybe I, yeah, I do encourage to follow some pitching sessions because pitching is not, you cannot invent a pitch. There is a structure, and once you've done it, then you can do your pitch. And this could be, I would say, very intimate pitching. Like there's some coffee organizing this kind of small pitch and bar, and you get pitch in front of people while drinking a beer. That could be a solution that is more informal, than very formal way because it's difficult to access them. And once you're starting to have a strong network, and there will be some people that are interested by your idea because they say, "Hey, and nobody think about it. Nobody actually solved this problem. That might be a good idea. I know someone that's and this is how networking. This is how yeah this network you're building is one of the strongest you will be able as a student to create. And for the association, some association actually provide supports to really build, but that's very rare because most of the student association don't have the budget for that. But you can start from this side to have this validation of the ID. And once you got this ID more or less validated, then you can go to incubators, some organizations supported by either private funds or state funds. State funds are more open, but they don't actually bring a lot of money, but that could be a good basis for the coaching sites. You can go to them and pitch, and they might give you the I would say the first steps, help you to do the first steps so that you can afterwards maybe run.
Very well explained. I think market research, polishing your idea, solving problem of the customers or consumer, these are the golden tips, and I think you have explained really well. And I have a next question which is interlinked to the previous one. A lot of students, they have an idea, like now they have money as well, they have investment as well, but I was seeing a report uh, from 2018 to onwards 2025, 20% of businesses, new startups, were shut down in just first 2 years.
Yeah,
50% of startups were shut down in just 5 years, and 75% of new startups are going to be shut down in 10 years. So, what is the main concern? I have investment, but how to maintain it for the longer term? What is your take on it?
that's well. I don't have I don't think I have the solution for that because then everybody would do the same. But um, I think, as maybe mentioned before, is your solution really solving a problem? That idea might be good. That might be actually making the world better. But is it kind of making the world better for others as well? If the other people might think, okay, that could be great, but not needed, then I would say, firstly, pay for that. So first, I would say to think an idea that people needs about it. There's a need and not nice to have, and I think that this could be the first biggest steps. Then the second thing is not to actually spend a lot of money. Some people that say, okay, I will spend all my money, all my savings in it. I say maybe don't go straight on it, and maybe just as I said, the thing is you have to think about your problem. You have to think about the customer, really who's gonna pay for it, why they're gonna pay for it, which pains, which gains they will have from your solutions, but also some how you can add value compared to competitors. And if you can add this unfair advantage um, to your solution that makes your solution unique, you're more likely to 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 survive along the years. And then you can go to build your network, to go to some coaching sessions that might exist. Some are free, not a lot, but still some. And this coaching session, these are very helpful sessions in which you can learn a lot about it. And you have to be careful about that. Make a lot of notes, and as I said before, speak about your ID. And some people might, I don't know, there are some angels investors, and they can give you money, and then your problems are solved. But in the meantime, you can speak about it. Maybe from my perspective, if I need, I don't know, a labs, there might be a professor that is interested by my idea, and I can do my research, a bit of research in the site of his labs. So this could be some ways, informal ways to um, yeah, to gain support and to um, remove the risk of failing, in a sense, de-risking it, and in a sense also to avoid unnecessary costs that are very important in the beginning, and some like bad investment.
Very well said, and I think these are the golden tips by a student by itself. What is your take? Because you are a student as well. Now you are working with a lot of fresh minds as well. So, what is your take? The bookish entrepreneurship versus practical entrepreneurship, because a lot of students claims that when they came in practical life, they say that what we have studied is not interlinked in practical life. That is true, or uh, that is just like a student making lame excuses.
Well, depends a lot on what the entrepreneurship is for you. Um, in my humble definition, I think it's a way of being, a mindset, not saying, okay, it's you can be entrepreneur, not doing anything, but as a student, being able to ask a lot of questions about how the world is working and why is it working like this, then you're starting to be an entrepreneur. They're still in the idealization state. But then if you want to go further, do some actions, I don't know, in some student association to get some responsibility initiatives, then you're starting to have the right mindset for being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is someone's, from my point of view, that is very, I would say, open to his surrounding, attentive about it, and in a sense also being able to adapt to any situations, to always find a solution to a problem, a solution oriented, I would say. And this could be, even though it's difficult, I would say, to start really a business, because it's you need money and not everybody needs up this money to start it, and me included. But it's still, uh, in an association, for instance, take some responsibilities, make initiatives, find a solution to problems, be proactive, not passive to the things that are coming to you. And this might be, I would say, the great assets. I would say the biggest point of being an entrepreneur. And in French, we say entrepreneur as well. But this means also start something. If you start something, a project, you start something that, okay, I will do some extra hours that belong my studies, then it's already being a small one, but still an entrepreneur. Then if you want to make a business out of it, then I think you are a real entrepreneur.
And I think the most important thing from your conversation is you have to learn. First learn, then earn. And now I have a rapid fire round, and I will be going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and you have to answer them very quickly. Uh, Tea or coffee?
T,
Morning bird or night owl?
a difficult one. I would say night owl.
Night owl, okay. Physical books or ebooks?
Real books, I would say.
Okay. Favorite destination for holiday?
I would say mountains.
Any hidden talent nobody knows about Vincent?
Um, ha, that's a difficult one. Uh, Shush, you got me. I would say, uh, yeah, proactive.
Proactive. Okay. So that's it. Before leaving, and I want you to answer this question because you are working as a president of a society and you have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder. So, how these societies are impacting, making an impact for students and for the companies? The role of these societies should be playing part of a bridge between students and companies. But mostly we've seen that a lot of students, they join the society, but they don't get those kind of skills when at the time of practicality. So what is your take on it as in president, because you are the president of the
Yeah, yeah.
society?
Well, as a president, I mean, I was once also a member, just a member of it, of the society and the association. And a lot of things at schools or even at university might be very theoretical, and that is needed for the working world. However, as you really well said, that we need some practical experience. And I do think that student associations are the perfect opportunity to do that, because you're in a safe space. You don't put normally money on it, and you can try things because students are more open to projects. If you are an active member, the presidents will be very happy that you will be taking some responsibilities, some the activities of the associations. From my side, I'm really impressed when some students who are very shy then say, "Hey, I want, I don't know, to create a lecture, to invite a professor to talk about something about entrepreneurship, and we can make a small lecture out of it. We can register, do a podcast as well." And these things makes me like happy because it makes the association lives, but also it makes proves that even the person that is shy, that wants, I would say, is often impressed by the big person in the real companies, actually can express himself during in an association, student association. So I really encourage, strongly encourage that students join and just an association. Could be anything else about entrepreneurship, but still an association, so that they can express themselves, they can try things, they can take responsibilities, take initiatives, and make a project from A to Z. That and then these are skills that are required for the working afterwards.
Thank you so much, Vincent, for your precious time. And it was totally an honor for us having you on our podcast. And mostly students who are watching this, young students, young entrepreneurs who want to be a young entrepreneur, you can start your journey in your university time as well. You have to just learn and then learn. I hope you will going to like this podcast. Leave a comment over here and do subscribe the channel. We will going to meet you in the next podcast. Till then, take care. Bye bye.